became part of the team that split FSA into FC and PRA. Stumbled upon the opportunity of Hurun India. I found it very exciting to speak about the Indian growth story. What I had in my mind was an economist map which said India and China used to have some 80% of global GDP 200 years back, and then because of all the events that happened, India is back to very low when it comes to GDP. And I really thought at that time I believed that the next 10-20 years is when India is going to really take back its share of GDP. And that was the kind of passion that I had in my mind. I had no background in entrepreneurship. My family is fully professionals. My dad is a doctor, so I didn't really have anyone to look up to or ask for mentorship. But I took a punt and I just jumped in, quit my job in London, came back to India. And it is a tough journey. Building a business in general is tough, and also in a market like India is tough, and also building something which you have never done before. I was just passionate about valuation and also knowing people, but then creating a business out of it's extremely tough. And as Elon Musk said in one interview, an entrepreneurship is like staring into an abyss and eating glass, right? So as an entrepreneur, you get it. Staring at an abyss would mean you basically know that almost 90 to 95% startups fail, right? So every day or every other hour, you really are thinking about how do you make yourself relevant, which is valuable for the society, and how do you build a sustainable business. And you're eating glass. You, as an entrepreneur, you always face, you get to see all the sort of problems. There are good problems, bad problems, worse problems. And as a founder, you take the worst problems and try and handle it yourself. So you are literally staring at the abyss and eating glass. And I really believe the breed of entrepreneurs that we're going to speak about today would come into that category of individuals or citizens of the country who has a very high pain threshold. Starting business on their own. And today is dedicated to self-made entrepreneurship in the country. And I welcome all of you to the very first inaugural edition of IDFG First, Hurun Top 200 Self-Made Entrepreneurs of the Millennium. About the list, it's a list of about 405 entrepreneurs, about 200 companies they represent, and the valuations of the companies as of 30th September 2023. The cutoff to enter the top 200 is about 3,000 crores, and that's basically the summary of the list. I'll also take you through some of the data that we have here. So if you look at the top 10, which is here, you could see some of the names are very common, but one interesting aspect here is that when you compare the Hurun India rich list and the top 10 here, the only one person who's featured in the top 10 of the rich list is Mr. Damani. And so this is basically the top 10, and you can also see that most of the entrepreneurs in the top 10 in today's list is basically from the startup ecosystem. So that's the top 10 table. And the women representation is also very interesting. If you look here, we've got Fagni Nair to Ghazal, some of the top women startup founders who've entered the list. So this is very much different when it compares to the data of the Hurun India rich list. So basically, you would realize that there is this amazing wave of women entrepreneurship or women entrepreneurs who've really started the business after the year 2000 and gone on to become some of the most valuable companies in the country. So that's the top 10 of the women. This is actually quite interesting. If you look at